Hey there, esports fans and friends. Welcome back to the Good Game Republic channel. Today's episode is all about IEM Melbourne 2025, which ended in an epic grand final between Vitality and Falcons. This tournament didn't just mark CS2's return to Australia after a break. It became a stage for history in the making. So let's dive in and take a closer look at how it all unfolded. Let's go. IEM Melbourne 2025 featured 16 teams fighting for a $300,000 prize pool, ranking points, and prestige. Among the more interesting storylines were BIG, making a tentative return to the Tier 1 scene, and Complexity, who weren't even supposed to be at the event but got a last-minute invite after Team Spirit dropped out. The tournament kicked off with a classic double elimination group stage. The first wave of matches was mostly predictable. Mouse beat BIG, Navi took down MIBR, and expected wins came from FaZe, Mongols, Vitality, and Falcons. But the big surprise of the group stage was Gamer Legion. They've been on the rise lately, and this event proved it. They punched their ticket to the playoffs by defeating 3D Max, Complexity, and absolutely dismantling FaZe Clan 2-0.
And not allowing FaZe to play no more! That is that 13-11, no overtime necessary, and Gamer Legion knock FaZe out of IEM Melbourne 2025 and book a ticket to the quarters.
Their only loss came against Mouse in a close upper bracket match. Meanwhile, Navi continued their recent slump. After a 2-1 loss to Falcons, they dropped to the lower bracket, where they barely scraped by FlyQuest. That win set up a decisive match versus Team Liquid, who currently aren't even in the top 10, and it turned into a disaster. Navi had a massive lead, but somehow completely lost focus and let Liquid pull off the comeback, losing 1-2.
Only 2 players remain to keep the dream alive, and JL had a knockdown. That's it, that's done. Nap locks it in, and Liquid make it happen on the third, on Ancient. They will be going to the arena, and Shuey against all odds coming in, the bounce back from Bucharest to make it to the playoffs.
It was a shocking exit for the Ukrainian squad, finishing 7th and missing playoffs, one of their worst showings in years. On the other hand, Falcons have looked sharp since picking up m0NESY and reuniting the XG2 duo with Nico. Their form has been impressive. A clean 2-0 win over SAW, a clutch 2-1 comeback against Navi.
Navi just keep throwing themselves in. Nico too late, looking for lurkers. Maybe arriving just in time. 1v1, headshot machines on either side. Nico be bit, and he's going to tap him out.
Been down a cool, a read like this and play a gamble over towards B so early in this game is mad. They're not ready for Nico. Got to get out cleanly with that one. Fresh M4 picked up. Nico still going, not stopping, not slowing down. Third gun, third weapon switch, and even more. Nico with all 5. m0NESY with a lights-out second map. The reason the comeback existed, Nico started the day strong, but they both end in fantastic form. And this is how it does look when that duo is delivering. They demolish Navi on Dust 2. It is not even close.
And a hard-fought upper bracket final against Vitality. Sure, the score was 2-0 in favor of the French, but it was far from a stomp. The game was tight. As for the underperformers, MIBR, SAW, and Virtus.pro were completely outclassed. All 3 looked out of form, especially VP, who lost 0-2 to FlyQuest and were promptly eliminated. MIBR have clearly passed their peak, despite briefly hitting the top 5. Even the return of Bronzan hasn't helped. In fact, it might have made things worse. SAW recently added 2 imports, a Zywoo and Sejot, to strengthen the roster, but so far it hasn't paid off. Both players are underperforming, with a Zywoo averaging just a 0.93 KD, not exactly playoff material. The playoffs of IEM Melbourne 2025 kicked off on April 25th at the iconic Rod Laver Arena. The quarterfinals featured 2 exciting matchups, Gamer Legion versus Falcons and Mongols versus Liquid. You'd expect intense all-out battles at the playoff stage, but the match between Gamer Legion and Falcons turned out to be a one-sided stomp. Nico and his squad absolutely demolished Gamer Legion, who managed to win only 7 rounds total across the series.
On that defuse, Slend won't have a chance to stop this, and so Falcons stick at semi-finals secured.
It was a surprisingly flat performance from a team known for their resilience and fighting spirit. This was definitely not the Gamer Legion we've come to expect. But credit where it's due, m0NESY was on fire. The young prodigy dropped 30 frags in total and finished the series with a massive 1.5 rating, putting on a clinic. Interestingly, this wasn't the first time these two teams clashed this year. At PGL Bucharest 2025, they met twice, first in the group stage, where Gamer Legion obliterated Falcons, only giving up 3 rounds, and later in the playoffs, where Falcons got their revenge with a tough 2-1 win. In many ways, this IEM Melbourne quarterfinal was a grudge match, and this time, Falcons came in swinging. The second quarterfinal between Mongols and Team Liquid brought much more drama and competition. The Mongolian squad pulled off a 2-1 win after a hard-fought battle. For Liquid, just making the playoffs again after a long drought was already a big step forward, and their performance showed real hunger to break back into the HLTV top 10. Twists tried his best to carry.
$1,400 invested and they take everything, including hope, away from Team Liquid. Twist has got one. Does he place the incendiary correctly? He has. It's going to bounce into Techno. Twist, this would be incredible, impeccable. Does he clear his corners? He saves RVD saves them in the Rod Laver Arena.
But in the end, Mongols were sharper and stronger individually. They managed to turn the tide in the decider on Inferno, closing it out 13-10 and punching their ticket to the semis.
The Mongols take Liquid out.
When it came to the semifinals, both Vitality and Falcons put on dominant, almost theatrical performances that left no doubt about their status as the tournament's top contenders. Falcons smashed Mouse 2-0 with convincing scorelines, 13-3 and 13-6.
Odyssey came close in the clutch last time. Can he stick the landing the second time around? Bomb out in the open, and that's the info. Odyssey knows where both players are. The alarm bells are ringing. Jimmy's feeling the pressure. Swinging it. It's on Odyssey. The $1 million man! Just space left to beat, and he does not have the time! The sleeping giant has woken up! Do we finally have that challenger to Team Vitality?
While Vitality steamrolled over Mongols, who were only able to grab 6 rounds across both maps.
He hunted down, and there it is, 13-3, a thrashing in the Rod Laver Arena. A semi-final day that has flown past.
It was a demolition job, plain and simple, and set the stage perfectly for the epic grand final that was to come. And just like that, we've made it to the grand final, a BO5 clash between Vitality and Team Falcons, marking the Falcons' first appearance in a top-tier CS tournament final since forming their roster. Without a doubt, this match turned out to be one of the most thrilling grand finals of the year. The teams went the distance, battling through all 5 maps with relentless intensity and heart. The full BO5 played out across Inferno, Dust 2, Train, Mirage, and Nuke. The grand final between Team Vitality and Team Falcons was a true nail-biter. The series lasted over 4 hours, and in the end, it came down to sheer stamina and focus, something Vitality held onto better than their opponents. Map 1, Inferno, saw total domination from Vitality. They steamrolled Falcons with a crushing 13-2 scoreline.
Unless Magis can change their fate, not to be 13-2.
It was a statement performance that had French fans already dreaming of a clean sweep. Zywoo put on a clinic, finishing Inferno with a 17-5 score.
Utah from Nico, a smoke onto the open possession, he still gets output, still pulls the trigger pre-bloom. Tessus on that 10-second defuse. Zywoo trapped in the smoke. Nico's smoke has freaked him out, but he's gone and done it. No, Zywoo finishes off the job.
And that was only the beginning of this epic showdown. Map 2, Dust 2, was where the Falcons came alive. Kixon stepped up in a huge way, landing unreal headshots and turning the momentum in his team's favor.
He's got his work cut out for him. Oh, what is that, Kixon? Recovers the rifle, someone flirting with aggression there, it's Apex. But no, not ready! Oh, Rob presumed Apex had window!
It was a scrappy, intense battle from the start. FlameZ looked off his game, struggling in key duels. The map went to overtime, where the Falcons locked in 4 straight rounds to win at 16-12, tying up the series and taking us to Train.
Vitality, an unstoppable run up until this point, concede their first map in Melbourne. It's Falcons that throw it, tied up in this grand final.
But to be clear, this wasn't a collapse from Vitality. Dust 2 has been one of Falcon's strongest maps lately, boasting a 61% win rate, and they proved exactly why. Map 3. Train felt like a roller coaster ride, full of clutches, unorthodox plays, and wild momentum swings. It might have been the most entertaining map of the series, even more so than the first two, which were more about raw fight and grit. But Train? That's where things turned into art. The first half was unpredictable, capped off by an insane clutch from TaS's. Vitality pushed A-Site through main and Pop Dog at 6-5 in favor of Falcons. A solid call, considering A is more exposed positionally. But TaS's didn't care about any of that. The round started off with Vitality dominance and a key frag from Zywoo, turning it into a 5 versus 3. With m0NESY down, it looked like Falcons would get pinched from both sides. A classic sandwich setup. But somehow, TaS's sensed the play. As soon as the first strafe came in, he instantly took down FlameZ, spun around to eliminate Ropes, who had no idea what hit him, and finally picked off mezii, who was just trying to play out the round. It was a masterclass from the Dane, a solo highlight reel.
Finds one back, but here's m0NESY. They're not clearing him. Does he get behind the box in time? Flame should have him. Shuts him down, opens up the round. Tessa sticking around. Oh no! Turns around. Oh, and gets it done!
But instead of breaking Vitality, it fired them up. Later, with the score tied 8-8, m0NESY seemed to unlock Clairvoyance mode, wiping out 2 Vitality players through smoke while entering the site. That moment sparked serious conversation and made it seem like Vitality were losing their grip. But at 9-8, something clicked. Vitality found their second wind and went on a run.
Listen to each other, boys. It's been 2 runs in a row. No way, boys. Let's fucking step up now.
Not in consecutive fashion, not with what's on the line.
Well, when Falcons is just chock-a-block full of individuals that pack a punch, as does Vitality's ranks. Rops, oh, Nico gets run down. What's happening? This is not supposed to be real. They only brought in pistols. Now Kingston and Tessa tossed with a crazy spray. Up to 1 man, the captain. HG looks good. Apex peeks into it. There you go.
In one standout round, mezii answered back, catching 3 Falcons standing in smoke on main with ice-cold precision. The final highlight came courtesy of Apex, who turned back the clock to his envious glory days. He shut down a main push with 2 clean frags, then outsmarted both Magisk and m0NESY by sneaking around the bomb train. A cheeky play from the 31-year-old French IGL. That round sealed Train for Vitality with a 13-9 win.
But mezii and Apex already oiled. They're already advancing. This is quicker than they're ready for. I don't think Magisk has even considered that he'd already be here. This is madness! Apex takes home Train! A quad kill to finish it. Frustrations hitting a fever pitch, but they stabilize. An eco victory and they run it home to take the lead in the best of 5.
On to Mirage. Map 4. Mirage was probably the most unpredictable of the series. There was no clear dominance from either side. The tension, intensity, and determination on both ends added a real kick to this spicy showdown. One of the standout moments came with an unbelievable retake by mezii. At 5-1 in favor of Falcons, mezii found himself stuck on B while the bomb was planted on A. TaS's was low HP, but the situation still looked bleak. Then, out of nowhere, the Brit tosses a grenade blindly and nails TaS's. Immediately after, he wins the duel against Nico, who got caught off by poor timing.
HE grenade, looking good. Oh! Dunks on TaS's. Nico, what have you got?
Oh!
You have nothing in the hands of the FAMAS. mezii closes out. Robs and mezii pull a second for consecutive fashion for Vitality.
That clutch breathed new life into Vitality and they pulled it back to 6-6. But that wasn't enough. m0NESY kept pushing, refusing to give Vitality any breathing room. On the other hand, Zywoo started to show signs of fatigue, losing duels that he'd normally win with ease. It cost them dearly. Final score on Mirage, 13-10 to Team Falcons.
Falcons are doing it! We're gonna have to need all 5! Tenacious as ever! This grand final is not done!
It's all to play for! The SO Grand Slam, the Giant Killer bonus, we'll find out on map 5!
In the first half of Nuke, Falcons were in total control. Their defense was unbreakable and every single setup from Vitality was dismantled round after round. But just as defeat seemed imminent, and that's when Zywoo delivered a moment of magic. In a single round, he sniped Kicksand mid-air, then instantly wiped out the last 2 Falcons players through smoke, pulling off a god-tier clutch that kept Vitality in the game.
Oh, the perfect position! No one's looking! No one's looking! TaS's just turns around just in time! Has he got it in him? The bomb will go down, a clutch that would have to save Vitality.
Nico's low. Tessus alive, elevate position through the smoke. It will be about tracking and reactions. Good shot. Oh! The aim! The brain! The game saves them!
With the score sitting at 12-6, Vitality woke up, crushing Falcons' T-side with relentless pressure.
Mezzi goes quiet, gets the bomb in, Tessa's not looking, wrong way, 5-7, connects, and Mezzi takes it out, isolating Apex, spots out, knows where it's coming from, that's the nade! 15 seconds, the pressure on these three, how on earth are they supposed to get that bomb down? Not looking good now, Rob 6, but Monacy kicks and falls, and Vitality sees another. Nico's got his head in his sights, they're closing the gap. Chip damage, get away, the clock is on their side now. Zywoo clawing back in, can he get it again? Can he save them again? It's just sidearms for the most of them. Good damage, another falls, kicks them, what have you got? Nothing enough! It's just Magisk. They're on the defuse, he can't stop it, he can't get him off it in the smoke, he can't find it! We need another! Oh my goodness! Never certain, always guessing!
One of the key moments was Rops's ramp hold. Standing like steel, he obliterated everything in his path. Tas's Monacy eliminated. Even with two players trying to shut him down, the Estonian star pulled off a triple kill and sent the map into overtime.
Are they really doing 6 consecutive to OT? Looking good, Robs on the ramp! Holds on, forced out into the fight, Madness should have him, takes another with him, burns to a crisp, but the damage is done. Robs' impact reverberates on ramp, triple kill, just Magisk now. Flames, oh, open the doors, he sees it coming in, Flame forces it! Vitality, weather the storm!
We said they had to rise to the occasion. If you want to go down as one of the all-time greats.
In OT, Vitality maintained full control, and it was clear Falcons were exhausted, especially Magisk, who looked sluggish throughout the map. The ending of this BO5 was something else entirely. Monacy clutched a 1 versus 1 post plant despite a weak position, landing a deadly headshot with a Tech 9 and momentarily keeping Falcons' hopes alive.
10 seconds!
Ted, where's the bomb? Where is the bomb? Monacy's gonna punch it in! Mezzi, what can you do? He's going to run at him. It comes down to a 1v1. Monacy versus Mezzi. Orb versus M4. Everything to play for. $1 million on the line.
Oh!
If Mezzi can justify the Tech 9, we go again.
The Rod Laver Arena are on their feet, and we're getting a game of Counter-Strike that we deserve.
But the final blow came from none other than Ropes. Turning the A site into a wasteland, he picked off Nico from heaven, deleted Magisk, and left Monacy with no chance to respond. All the young prodigy could do was accept Vitality's final triumph.
That can stop them. It's not going to happen. Surely Monacy cannot come up 1v4. Bomb down from the hut. Vitality made to work for it. Tenacious. But it is theirs now.
Final score, 3-2, and the French squad reigned supreme once again.
Your champions, the Intel Extreme Masters, Vitality! Kings of Counter-Strike, this is Vitality's world now!
Zywoo grabs his 24th MVP award.
Your MVP, it's Zywoo!
Setting another record, and this final is undoubtedly one for the CS history books. Vitality's dominant run at IEM Melbourne 2025 was the final piece of their epic journey to claiming the ESL Grand Slam Season 5. Their IEM Melbourne title earned them $125,000, but it also unlocked a $1 million Grand Slam bonus and those iconic gold bars. This prize isn't just financial, it's symbolic of a place among legends. With this victory, Vitality becomes just the 5th team in CS history to reach this elite milestone. A special shout out goes to Rops, who became only the 2nd player in history to win 2 Grand Slam trophies. First with FaZe in Season 4, now with Vitality. The only other player to do it? Twist, who achieved the feat with Liquid and FaZe. This victory isn't just about lifting a trophy, it's a statement. It's proof that hard work, strategy, and teamwork can create legends. And from now on, Vitality will be remembered not just as champions, but as history makers. Who impressed you most at IEM Melbourne? And do you think Falcons will win their first S-tier trophy in 2025? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more hot CS2 content. See you soon on Good Game Republic.